Have we started the class?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees, I have greatest news for you. Very special event happening on February 23rd. Or some people might have seen my status, so they know what might have happened. What is going to happen? Huh? 23rd February, Ekadashi Tithi, Radha Giridhari, ISKCON Mira Road, Sannyas initiation ceremony of His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhu. हरी बोल हरी बोल हरी बोल। सन्यास कौन दे रहे हैं? His Holiness वेद व्यास प्रिय महाराज।
हरि
ठीक
बोल
है,
माता।
हरी बोल। कहाँ से हरी बोल आया?
आशीष बोल।
अच्छा, हरे कृष्णा आशीष प्रभु एंड सिंधुजा माता जी। Very nice. So Prabhupada says if one has a good wife, then he need not to take sannyas because wife will act as that. Ashish Prabhu has Sindhuja Mataji. So devotee wife, Prabhupada says, even Haldar Maharaj was saying it's like two brahmacharis together preaching. So I'm very happy to share that. मैं ऑनलाइन अटेंड करूंगी यहाँ से। अगर मैं इस टाइम में इंडिया में होती तो मैं प्रभु जी को बोलती कि मैं सन्यास अभी और क्या ही अटेंड करने जाऊं। पहले गुरु महाराज टेम्पल ओपन करते तो जाती, लेकिन अभी सन्यास हो रहा है तो गुरु महाराज भी होंगे ही उधर, तो फिर मैं मुंबई जाती कमल लोचन प्रभु का सन्यास अटेंड करने। हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। सिंधुजा इज देयर अराउंड यू? कैन आई सी हर? हरे कृष्णा। सिंधुजा, Gorchan Nitaijan calling you. Don't just send laddus. You yourself come make laddus.
Yes, ma'am. Hare Krishna.
हरि बोल।
Yes,
चलो इनको क्लास
definitely.
करने देते हैं। आ रहे हो ना आप? आ जाओ प्लीज। कोलकाता कॉलिंग, प्रभुपाद कॉलिंग, जयपता का महाराज कॉलिंग। सी, जयपता का महाराज नेवर मिस कोलकाता रथ यात्रा, नेवर। हाँ, so that is
Yes.
Guru Datta Desha. Come. So much mercy in Kolkata
Definitely,
because so
Mataji.
much service is needed. क्या आवाज आई?
Definitely,
आ
Mataji.
जाओ। हाँ, आ जाओ। हाँ? हरे कृष्णा। ओके, हरि बोल।
The HR is not calling.
See, that's why we should not, don't be dependent on HR. Be dependent on HDG. His divine grace is calling. अच्छा तो क्या होगा, वो भी व्यवस्था। भगवान करे जल्दी व्यवस्था हो जाए, बिकॉज यहाँ पे सेवा की बहुत ज्यादा आवश्यकता है। हमारे भगवान को ठीक से खाने को मिलेगा, अच्छी स्वीट्स मिलेंगी, प्रचार होगा। ठीक है, तो देखो डीटीज आर कॉलिंग। ये तो आधी जगह तो टेम्पल में क्या दर्शन करने को यहाँ डीटीज को ड्रेस करने को मिलेगा, खिलाने को मिलेगा। डीटीज आर रेडी टू रेसिप्रोकेट, वी शुड कम। हरी बोल।
Let us begin with text.
It's not started live, so it is always live. I'm sorry.
Yashinam gatham Pandaveya Puravida Gayanti. My dear King Parikshit, those who are learned scholars in the histories of the Puranas eulogize and glorify King Gaya with the following verses. But the historical references to exalted kings serve as a good example for the present rulers. Those who are ruling the world at the present moment should take lessons from King Gaya, King Yudhishthir, and King Prithu, and rule the citizens so that they will be happy. Presently, the governments are levying taxes without improving the citizens in any cultural, religious, social, or political way. According to the Vedas, this is not recommended. Yesterday we were just meditating on the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the presiding deities of the various planets, after having been tortured by the atrocities of Hiranyakashipu, they are praying to the Supreme Lord. Rather, they are intensifying their meditation on the Supreme Lord. They stopped eating, they stopped drinking, they stopped sleeping, and constantly they were all meditating and praying to the Supreme Lord, uh, so that their consciousness remains absorbed in the Supreme Lord, to invoke the blessings and the grace of the Supreme Lord. There, this so that Krishna consciousness can prevail and percolate in the hearts of the citizens. All the predominating deities of the planets, they were praying to the Supreme Lord. So there, uh, so meditating on that, this one beautiful aspect became very clear. This one that uh, one should not try to control. If one tries to control, one will create havoc for oneself and everyone else. Nobody should try to control. Hiranyakashipu tried to control. It's creating havoc for everyone else, and in due course of time, it will be havoc for him when he is himself destroyed. So, uh, we take a lesson from these presiding deities of the various planets. Some of them are mentioned in the fifth canto, in the description of the Navavarshas. Uh, and their whole and sole goal is to help the citizens remember Krishna and lead a Krishna conscious life. So, we see from their behavior that when there is a troubled time, they are taking more intense shelter of the Supreme Lord. So therefore, don't try to control. So then, what to do? So, uh, so one should not try to control. One should try to establish the control of the Supreme Lord. That is called as perfect ruling. Perfect ruling means try to always establish the control of the Supreme Lord. That is perfect ruling. Here, Papa is mentioning that one should take lessons from Maharaj Gaya, Maharaj Yudhishthira, that uh, how uh, uh, how they are reflecting the very loving nature, the very merciful nature of the Supreme Lord in terms of uh, uh, sacrificing their lives for the betterment of the people's, taking care of their body, mind, soul. So how they are representing the very nature, the very heart of the Supreme. Speak further. गायं नृपः का प्रतीयते प्रतीया कर्म ही यज्वाभिमाने बहुविध धर्म गुप्त समागता श्री सदसस्पति सता सत्सेवको अन्य भगवत कलामृते. The great King Gaya used to perform all kinds of Vedic rituals. He was very intelligent, an expert in studying all the Vedic literatures. He maintained the religious principles and possessed all kinds of opulence. He was a leader among gentlemen and a servant of the devotees. He was a totally qualified plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, who could equal him in the performance of gigantic ritualistic ceremonies? The qualification of great souls, you see, Sabad explains that a very sincere devotee, he does not act. Nothing can trigger such a devotee to act. He only acts according to the dictates of the Lord. And for no other reason, he performs action. Maharaj Gaya is a complete manifestation of that. His actions are all as per the Shastras. And therefore, we see the highlight of Maharaj Gaya's ruling is the maintenance of the religious principles. The maintenance of the religious principles. That's how he is qualified to to be empowered by the divine powers. He's a Shakti Avatar, as is being explained, and he's empowered by what is his qualification? His qualification is his only focus is uphold the Vedic principles, and his activities uh, are completely in line with the Shastras, and therefore maintenance is maintaining the religious principles, and in that way uplifting the society. Yamabhyasinaन् chan paraya मूढसति सत्याशीषु दक्षकन्या सरिद्भिः यस्या प्रजानां दुदुहे धारशीषु निराशीषो गुणवत्सा सुनोधा. All the chaste and honest daughters of Maharaj Daksha, such as Shraddha, Maitri, and Daya, whose blessings were always effective, bathed Maharaj Gaya with sanctified water. Indeed, they were very satisfied with Maharaj Gaya. The planet Earth personified came as a cow, and as though she saw her calf, she delivered milk profusely when she saw all the good qualities of Maharaj Gaya. In other words, Maharaj Gaya was able to derive all benefits from the earth and thus satisfy the desires of his citizens. However, he personally had no desire. Purpose. The earth over which Maharaj Gaya ruled is compared to a cow. The good qualities whereby he maintained and ruled the citizens are compared to a calf. A cow delivers milk in the presence of her calf. Similarly, the cow or the earth fulfilled the desires of Maharaj Gaya, who was able to utilize all the resources of the earth to benefit his citizens. This was possible because he was bathed in sanctified water by the honest daughters of Daksha. Unless a king or a ruler is blessed by authorities, he cannot rule the citizens very satisfactorily. Through the good qualities of the ruler, the citizens become happy and well qualified. Very beautifully, it is being described that how Maharaj Gaya, by his good qualities, uh, uh, he attracted the blessings of the authority. So here we see so beautifully Sukhdev Maharaj is pointing out that actually this is the greatest wealth and opulence of one's life. It was explained in the previous verse that Maharaj Gaya was following all the Vedic rituals and upholding the Vedic principles, and he was very opulent. But what is that opulence? That is being described in the verse here. That opulence is the opulence of the blessings. So the wealth of Maharaj Gaya is the blessings of all devotees. And because of these blessings of all devotees, Maharaj Gaya was empowered. And he was able to attract and inspire the citizens to also take up Krishna consciousness. So it is explained, Krishna Shakti Vina nahi tar parivartan. Without being empowered, one cannot inspire others to take to Krishna consciousness. And therefore, actually, we are learning from Bhagavatam here that life should be meant to chase or to run after blessings. Endeavors and efforts are meant to run after blessings. Life is not meant to run after money or fame, but to run after blessings. Because it is these blessings of the great souls which can empower one. It is these blessings of the great souls which can actually uplift a devotee and place a devotee in front of the Supreme Lord direct. So Maharaj Gaya is having the real wealth. The real wealth is the blessings of the Vaishnavas and the Vaishnavis. So here you see these great Vaishnavis, these great devotees, they are bathing him fully satisfied with Maharaj Gaya's beautiful, good qualities, divine qualities. Let's read further. Chandamsi akamasya cha yasya kamam duduhur ajaharur atho balim nripaha pratyanchita yudhi dharme na vipra yadasi sam shashtam amsham paritya. Although Maharaj Gaya had no personal desire for sense gratification, all his desires were fulfilled by virtue of his performance of Vedic rituals. All the kings with whom Maharaj Gaya had to fight were forced to fight on religious principles. They were very satisfied with his fighting and they would present all kinds of gifts to him. Similarly, all the Brahmanas in his kingdom were very satisfied with King Gaya's munificent charities. Consequently, the Brahmanas contributed a sixth of their pious activities for the king's benefit in the next life. But as a Kshatriya or emperor, Maharaj Gaya sometimes had to fight with subordinate kings to maintain his government. But the subordinate kings were not dissatisfied with him because they knew that he fought for religious principles. Consequently, they accepted his subordination and offered all kinds of gifts to him. Similarly, the Brahmanas, who performed Vedic rituals, were so satisfied with the king that they readily agreed to part with the sixth of their pious activities for his benefit in the next life. Thus, the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas were all satisfied with Maharaj Gaya because of his proper administration. In other words, Maharaj Gaya satisfied the Kshatriya kings by his fighting and satisfied the Brahmanas by his charities. The Vaishyas were also encouraged by kind words and affectionate dealings. And due to Maharaj Gaya's constant sacrifices, the Shudras were satisfied by sumptuous food and charity. In this way, Maharaj Gaya kept the citizens very satisfied. When Brahmanas and saintly persons are honored, they part with their pious activities, giving them to those who honor them and render them service. Therefore, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 4:34, Tadviti pranipatena pariprashnain sevaya. One should try to approach a spiritual master submissively and render service unto him. So, very beautiful. Here we are learning how Maharaj has satisfied all different kinds of people. It is explained he satisfied the Kshatriya by his fighting. He was fighting for religious principles. He satisfied the Brahmanas by serving them, by giving them charity. He satisfied the Vaishyas by his kind words and affectionate dealings. And he satisfied the Shudras with sumptuous food and charity. Very beautiful. This is instructive for us how we can satisfy different kinds of people also. So quite interesting. So and Prabhupada is saying, and the lesson, beautiful lesson for us, that okay, when we serve the great souls, when they part with their, basically heartily they bless us. They part with their pious activities means heartily they bless us. And by their blessings and by their prayer, Krishna becomes very merciful on us. So therefore, one should have, therefore Prabhupada is saying, Tadviddhi, pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So one should, Tadviddhi, pranipatena. One should heartily serve, because by service we can please the great souls, and by their blessings, immense Krishna's blessings can come upon in our own lives. So, so this is understood. This is understandable. But the other aspect, how to satisfy the Kshatriyas by fighting. In modern day, in modern day, the fighting is replaced by competition. Modern day fighting is replaced by competition. So, when we compete on the religious principles or carrying the religious principles, many people will be inspired. That is the point. Competition. Like many people are inspired by, many people, their hearts are inspired when they see that devotees are working very hard serving Krishna. Like they see, yeah. So I should fight. So fighting is replaced by competition. Like they see, okay, these devotees are struggling so much, and they have arranged such a huge festival. They have built such a huge temple, such a monument temple. They're working so hard. So people get inspired by that. They served 10 lakh people prasadam. They're reaching to 1 million tribals. So when they see devotees working hard, they're distributing books by the millions. So competition. So this fighting in modern day can be replaced by competition, and materialistic people work very hard, and we should compete with them for Krishna, not for sense gratification, for Krishna. So like I was giving one seminar day before yesterday, I believe, in MIT, in one of the classrooms. So there was a Japanese student, and she was saying that, okay, all what you're speaking is exciting, but in your presentation, in your slides, you should have more rigor. So you should write what you are speaking in the form of some equations, and write some formulas, write some equations, put it in your slides, and bring more rigor into it. Bring a textbook of what you are saying, and that will have an appeal. And just like the Maxwell's equations, you write Maxwell's equations for the mind. So she was so we took it that okay. So you see, when people they see rigor, they see, okay, these people are on Krishna's mission, but they're working so hard, they are bringing in rigor, and so when we bring in rigor in our mission of preaching Krishna consciousness, that rigor That rigor causes the trigger in people's heart. So, uh, so that's an equivalent to fighting. Fighting. So we should compete. We should compete with materialism. We should not feel forlorn or despondent. How? But we should work hard. People see that we are working hard for Krishna, and it is religious principles. They will get inspired. This is the way in which their hearts can be inspired. Then again, it is shown the Vaishyas were inspired by affectionate dealings and very kind words. And this should be, this is the Vaishnava's behavioral code for all times, for all people to come. Srila Prabhupada did not allow the devotees to speak cheaply or to behave cheaply, even with a lion in a cage. Prabhupada said you should respect the king of the jungle. He was in a cage. Prabhupada stopped his devotees. He chided his devotees. He said, no, he has to be respected. So that respect for all times, for all people. That's the hallmark of Krishna. And then Shudras. He says the Shudras, some choose prasadam and charity. So therefore, it is very in a preaching mission involves investment. And some choose prasad, very nice prasad we should serve to devotees, to new people. Very nice facilities we should give to new people. So charity can manifest in terms of giving facilities. Like say people come, they have a nice place to sit. There's a nice pandal. Even if it is raining, it is it is not percolating down. It's nicely built. It's a nice temple hall. Like Gopinath in the temple hall, they have AC. It's a nice facility for people. They can sit, they can feel nice. They said they feel nice. So that's facilitation, charity. And uh, sometimes some devotees are asking me that, okay, why? Say, for example, Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj is giving so much facilities to the tribal people. He's arranging for their education. He's arranging for some funding for them so that they can have some livelihood. They can start some small scale industry or something like that, or they can do farming, purchase seeds with that money and all that, or they can make clothes or something, anything. So various type of things. He's arranging drinking water for them, boring and drinking water. He's arranging boring facilities, medical facilities. Prasadam to, anyways, yes, education for their children, hostel facilities for their children. Why is he doing so much? Why is Maharaj emphasizing and encouraging and doing so much for them? It's too much. But the point is, you see in Bhagavatam, here we can learn that the Shudras, that is how we can please them. That is how we can inspire them, by giving them some just prasad and facilities. Is directly there, Prabhupada speaking the purpose. Maharaj Gaya was doing that, and that's a great lesson for us. So therefore, you see, every preaching is this is not just for tribals. We do that for students of IIT, NIT, and local colleges also. We how much hard we work to to make a voice center. In our KDP only, we see how many years we spent in actually constructing this place. So for what? So that devotees and students can take up Krishna consciousness. So that is a way every preaching endeavor is. In fact, I have heard Radheshyam Prabhu wants such kind of voices here also in Boston, and it will cost millions of dollars because things are very costly here. But yeah, 1 2 BHK flat may cost $2 to $3 million here. So, but and that marks a very good facility. People can very easily come. People can very easily come and practice Krishna consciousness. So that is one of the way by which we can please and serve the Shudra. So yeah. So these principles are very much a part of should be very much a part of our teaching endeavors. And then we can attract great blessings, enormous blessings of the great soul. And then we can also win the trust of so many new people who will be inspired to practice Krishna consciousness, understanding that it is something substantial. Okay, there is some question just come. What is the question here? How does one know that he is getting blessings by his endeavors? Or how do we know that we are getting blessings? So, uh, so yeah. So good service is understood by we understand. No, so good service attracts more service. So if more service is done, that means previous service was good. If more service is not coming, that means previous service is not good. So good service attracts more service. More service is the barometer of good service. Good chanting means more chanting. Good chanting leads to more chanting. More chanting means good chanting. So same way, good service attracts more service. So we are getting association. If we are getting association, we are getting more and more service, and we are getting more and more association. We should understand that the Vaishnavas are pleased with us. So we should continue the same momentum. We should continue the same momentum. Or rather, we should increase our service. We often condemn social service and focus only on Vidyadan, but this verse Shudras are giving so much material facility here. The reason is because unless the material care is there, the efficacy, the value of the spiritual care is not understood. Many times people, unless they are given that material care, they are not able to accept the spiritual facilitation. So to enable them to accept the spiritual facilitation, the material care is essential. So it's not social service. Social service, the service becomes social when there is no spiritual. So physical service becomes social when there is no spiritual. But physical service is not social when the physical service is accompanied by service to the soul also. So we should have body, mind, soul. And that's a very much integral part of our preaching. Like say, for example, we do VTW, STW. So STW is not social service because there is VTW. If you don't do VTW, only do STW, then there is social service. If we are just distributing food, then it is social service. But we are distributing prasad and we make people chant Hare Krishna, then that is spiritual service. So that is what we have to understand. That many times when people are less evolved in their intelligence, they understand the value of a spiritual facilitation only when certain material facilitation is accompanied. This is true in our say in our KGP also or in voices also, unless there is a voice where devotees can get prasad, there is a study room there, that becomes no problem. So unless there is a voice, so there it will become difficult for them to integrate their studies along with spirituality along with their study, because hostel atmosphere is not at all conducive. So unless we provide a proper atmosphere where it is practical to follow Krishna consciousness at the same time study, it will be difficult for students to take it. If we tell them no, you just live in the hostel, no problem, and practice, it will be difficult for them to take it. But we create a facility where both are possible, then it becomes then it is more easily accepted by the students. So that's the same point, that without material facilitation, people may not be able to understand the value of spiritual facilitation, and second, may not be able to sustainably integrate the spiritual values into their lives along with their material duties. Let's read further. यस्याध्वरे भगवन् अध्वरात्मा मघो निमद्याति पुरुषोमपीठे श्रद्धा विशुद्धा चल भक्ति योगा समर्पेद्या फलम् आजहार. In Maharaj Gaya's sacrifices, there was a great supply of the intoxicant known as Soma. King Indra used to come and become intoxicated by drinking large quantities of Soma rasa. Also, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the Yajna also came and personally accepted all the sacrifices offered to him with pure and firm devotion in the sacrificial arena. Maharaj Gaya was so perfect that he satisfied all the demigods who were headed by the heavenly king Indra. Lord Vishnu himself also personally came to the sacrificial arena to accept the offerings. Although Maharaj Gaya did not want them, he received all the blessings of the demigods and the Supreme Lord himself. Many times, the question may come in the heart of the devotee that how can I please all various kinds of devotees? How to deal with so many various kinds of devotees and how to please them? Uh, it may look to be an undaunting task. So here we are understanding that if one sincerely tries to practice, seriously, sincerely, intensely tries to practice Krishna consciousness, by the virtue of the practice of Krishna consciousness, one will act in the proper way to please all different kinds of people. So all we need to do to please all Vaishnavas is, or different kinds of people is, to more intensely practice Krishna consciousness. Then automatically the heart is purified. And with that purified heart, one will be able to please and serve all different kinds of devotees and potential devotees properly. That's a beautiful lesson we can learn. All the demigods are satisfied simply by Maharaj Gaya's heartfelt offering filled with devotion. Why? Because Krishna is satisfied. So because he's able to satisfy Krishna, he's able to satisfy all the Vaishnavas also, all the demigods also. Let's read further. ये प्रीननाद बर्हिषि देवतीर्यन् मनुष्य विरुद्रिणाम अविरिंचा प्रियेत साध्या सह विश्वजीव प्रीता स्वयं प्रीत अगत गायस्य. When the Supreme Lord is pleased by a person's actions, see, automatically all the demigods, human beings, animals, birds, bees, creepers, trees, grass, and all the other living entities, beginning with Lord Brahma. Yasmin Tushte, Jagat Tushta. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the super soul of everyone, and he is by nature fully pleased. Nonetheless, he came to the arena of Maharaj Gaya and said, I am fully pleased. It is explicitly stated herein that simply by satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one satisfies the demigods and other living entities without differentiation. If one pours water on the root of a tree, all the branches, twigs, flowers, and leaves are nourished. Although the Supreme Lord is self-satisfied, he was so pleased with the behavior of Maharaj Gaya that he personally came to the sacrificial arena and said, I am fully satisfied. Who can compare to Maharaj Gaya? Gayantam Chitraratah Sugati Avarodhana iti Traya Putra Babush Chitrarathat Urnayam Samrat Ajanishtha Tata Utkalayam Marichir Marichir Bindu Mutyam Bindu Anudapadyata Tasmat Saraghayam Madhur Nama Bhavan Modaha Sumanase Viravratastato Bhojayam Manthu Pramantu Jajanate Mantho Satyayam Bhuvanastato Dushanayam Tvashtajanishta Tvashtor Virochanayam Virajo Virajasya Satache Pravaram Putra Satam Kanyacha Vishuchayam Kirajatam. In the womb of Gayanti, Maharaj Gaya begot three sons named Chitraratha, Sugati, and Avarodhana. In the womb of his wife Purna, Chitraratha begot a son Samrat. The wife of Samrat was Utkala, and in her womb Samrat begot a son named Marichi. In the womb of his wife Bindumati, Marichi begot a son named Bindu. In the womb of his wife Saragha, Bindu begot a son named Madhu. In the womb of his wife named Sumana, Madhu begot a son, Viravrata. In the womb of his wife Bhoja, Viravrata begot two sons named Manthu and Pramanthu. In the womb of his wife Satya, Manthu begot a son named Bhuvana. And in the womb of his wife Dusana, Bhuvana, Bhuvana begot a son named Tvashta. In the womb of his wife Virochana, Tvashta begot a son named Viraja. The wife of Viraja was Vishuchi, and in her womb Viraja begot 100 sons and one daughter. Of all these sons, the son named Satyajit was predominant. So a lot of family lineage. Let's read further. तत्रायं श्लोकः प्रय्यवृतां वंशमिमम् इमं धीरजश्चारमोद्धवः अकरोध अति आलं कीर्तया विष्णुसुरगणं यथा. There is a famous verse about King Viraja. Because of his high quality and wide fame, King Viraja became the jewel of the dynasty of King Priyavrata, just as Lord Vishnu, by his transcendental potency, decorates and blesses the demigods. Within a garden, a flowering tree attains a good reputation because of its fragrant flowers. Similarly, if there is a famous man in the family, he is compared to a fragrant flower in the forest. Because of him, an entire family can become famous in the history. Because Lord Krishna took birth in the Yadu dynasty, the Yadu dynasty and the Yadavas have remained famous for all time. Because of King Viraja's appearance, the family of Maharaj Priyavrat has remained famous for all time. Dozens of the puppets of the fifth canto, 15th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Glories of the Descendants of King Priyavrat. Haribo.
Haribo.
It was very nicely explained here. How you see, in the forest, uh, uh, it is a fragrant flower which changes the experience of everyone passing through that forest. So this material world is also, we have heard, no, the last chapter we were reading, last two chapters rather. The material world is a great, dense, dark forest, full with so many uncertainties and tribulations and tormenting and tortuous situations. The great devotees of the Lord are like these beautiful flowers which make this entire forest fragrant with the aroma of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada disciples are like that fragrant flower. Their fragrance, they're like that fragrant flower because the fragrance actually makes the experience of the material world.
As a cooling breeze, Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandan Sashikala Chaya Javikuda, Henu Nitai Vinavai, Radha Krishna Pai Punai,
Yes, as a
Drid
cooling
Kari
breeze.
Dhanu Nitai Pai.
As a cooling breeze. So therefore, to come in contact with such a genuine devotee of the Lord is one of the most phenomenal and greatest things what can happen in the entire history of our existence in this material world. And therefore it is said, therefore it is said that what it say that janme janme pitamata pai. So every birth, mother father one may get, but a genuine guru is very rare. Therefore, the opportunity to come in contact with such genuine devotees of the Lord is one of the greatest, most phenomenal events of our life. And therefore, it should be accepted and relished and cherished, and we should grab on to this great opportunity which has come forth in our life and not miss it
And not take it for granted.
and not take it for granted. It won't be there forever. It won't be there for all times to come.
This is a privilege to participate in the mission of Lord Chaitanya.
Like so many years, I just kept requesting one devotee to take initiation from His Holiness Bhakti Chandra Swami Maharaj. And Maharaj was there on the planet. Maharaj was so much, and access to Maharaj was there. And now Maharaj is no more. And now Maharaj is gone to serve Prabhupada's next mission. So now the only problem is now to obtain Maharaj's association, one needs to qualify. Otherwise, one will not get the opportunity. Yeah. So therefore, actually, the presence of a great spiritual master, the presence of a genuine devotee is a great benediction. And we should take benefit of that and take it very seriously. Taking benefit means imbibing their mood, emulating their footsteps. Emulating their footsteps. And the other point is what we are learning here is that, so this is so our parampara is the flower parampara. Mm. So this is therefore this is the duty of every Vaishnava, that we should also become like a flower. Mm. We should not
Padmapatre Vambasa.
in this material world. We should also become like a flower. By the mercy of these flower like great souls, it is possible that we can also become like a flower. And but one who is not serious in Krishna consciousness, or one who is not a devotee, such a person is not flower. Such a person is actually stinking. It's like garbage, stinking garbage. So the materialistic heart is like stinking garbage, and we should churn that heart so that Krishna consciousness flows into various past portions of this heart, and it becomes fragrant. No more remains like that. That's the point.
I want to share something. Are you starting with the next?
Yes, next.
Okay, can I give some Prabhupada advertisement in between?
Yeah.
Okay, you can start with the next chapter. At the end, I just want to read one page. He saved me. Not just me.
You can read.
Can I? एक मिनट मुझे भी सुन लो. Hare Krishna. This is Srila Prabhupada's meditation. Can you see the book? Yeah. Satyarup Maharaj is writing. He saved me. I think you can better read Prabhu.
Mm.
He saved me when I was in the darkness of ignorance. We should not forget, but keep alive the memory of our conversion. Means from non-devotee to devotee. Meditation on Srila Prabhupada as the one who saved us is more than gratitude for a past favor. Rather, we are in constant need of his saving grace, and he is always ready to protect us. Even after Diksha, a disciple is constantly tested by Maya. There is every chance that one may fall down again and return to former ways. Even Lord Brahma is subjected to illusion and suffering. And so he turned to the Lord and said, in court, I pray that in the course of my material activities, I may not be deviated from the vibration of the Vedic hymns. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.9.24. Srila Prabhupada comments on this prayer as follows. Brahma, as the supermost Brahma, is afraid of a fall down. Therefore, he prays to the Lord for protection. This is a warning for one and all in the spiritual advancement of life. Unless one is sufficiently protected by the Lord, he may fall down from his spiritual position. Therefore, one has to pray constantly to the Lord for protection and the blessing to carry out one's duty. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.9.24. So even Brahmaji is scared of fall down. So how can we think that Maya cannot affect us? So that's why constant prayer for protection and the blessing to carry out one's duty. Just a page. In the case of Lord Brahma, the Supreme Lord was his direct spiritual master. But in everyone else's case, we should turn to both Guru and Krishna. Our need for this relationship is an ongoing one. And this is another proof that the relationship is not diminished by time or confined to one act. Or is confined to one act which our Guru performed when we were neophytes and needed an initial pick-me-up. So it's Guru relation with not Guru just on the day of initiation. It's an ongoing process. At the time of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance from this world, his followers were forced to learn that their relationship with him continued by service in separation. Previous to Prabhupada's disappearance, we had heard the philosophy of serving in separation, but now we had to learn it as a substantial fact of life. The fact that Prabhupada's followers could continue as before and increase their feelings of devotion and even increase their serving capacity proved that he was very much still with them. And this we are seeing in our spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada disciples. Their surrender and their service is increasing more and more. So those who follow, they are always with their spiritual master. Not audible क्या आवाज नहीं आ रही थी क्या? अड़ी बोल रहे हैं
Yes, Mataji, yes.
ना? अच्छा इन्हें तो बारह ही पढ़ दूंगी Although in certain ways we may have grown up and matured, we remain disciples of Srila Prabhupada. That's for Satsvarup Maharaj. After a few years of experience, the disciple knows that what he is supposed to do, and so he follows the rules and regulations and discharge routine duties. He does not need to be constantly told this thing. मतलब basic करते हैं ये उनके लिए है जो basic कर रहे हैं. One also comes to know that the strength for performing devotional service is given by Lord Krishna in the form of transcendental knowledge. But even when one knows these facts and preaches about them to others, the active ingredient is always the Guru's mercy. A warrior may possess a good weapon, and now we all know philosophy, but still we fall trap to Maya. But unless he has the strength to pick it up and use it, he will be defeated. The strength for fighting Maya is a spiritual strength, Bala, which is given by the grace of Lord Balaram. The spiritual master is the representative of Lord Balaram. And so it is to him we should pray for ongoing protection. So it's an ongoing relationship, ongoing protection, ongoing seeking blessings to continue serving. We may make a distinction here between meditation and prayer. Prayer is a type of meditation, but with the emphasis on personal importance. In the example of Lord Brahma previously quoted, he was meditating on the Supreme Lord and urgently requesting his help. That I may not be deviated from the vibration of Vedic hymn. Prabhupada states, the only prayer to make to Krishna is, Dear Lord, please give me the strength to serve you. That's the only prayer. Please give me the strength to serve you. Any other prayer, you will never be happy. Lecture, August 1975. As Prabhupada's mercy is the constant factor for spiritual success, so his disfavor will be the direct cause. So his disfavor will be the direct cause of fall down. Therefore, we should always be aware of the gross and subtle forms of Guru Aparadha. But all dangers on the path, such as continued temptations from Maya or the committing of offenses to the Guru, can be mitigated by sincere attempts to follow the teachings of Lord Krishna as given by his pure devotee. We need not be depressed by the fact that we are always in need of help and there is danger at every step. All we need is to constantly be aware of our weakness and turn to the one who can save us. As Prabhupada advises, we must simply pray, Krishna, please pick me up, not just once. Ainanda Tanuj Kinkaram. Patitamma Vishme Bhavambudo, Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja, Satadhuli Sadrisham Vichantaya. So thank you. I wanted to share because it's not just gratitude. Satsarup Maharaj is saying it's more than the gratitude that we should have a feeling that we are saved by Prabhupada, not just once, but forever. So that's why maybe you can speak something on this too, a little bit. Constant prayers, because Maya is extremely strong. And like in material life also, if somebody, like if we are dying and somebody saves our life, we are forever indebted to that person. And we never cause any harm or disrespect or any offense toward the person who saved us. So same way we are saved by Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada disciples. So at no cost we should betray them or cheat them. That is it. But even if we know the philosophy, we know the process, but still weakness. So that's why we should have to keep begging Nityananda Ram, Balaram. You want to say something, Prabhuji? Please say it. I like this very much. This is a wonderful prayer.
So we cannot connect to Srila Prabhupada directly. We can only connect to Prabhupada through Srila Prabhupada's good sons and daughters. Through Srila Prabhupada disciples only we can connect to Srila Prabhupada. We have to understand the parampara is the only way to connect. with the previous acharyas. Otherwise, there is no other way. We have to understand. Therefore, a devotee is always in the mood of how can I serve? I say the prayer is being spoken about. That Prophet himself is saying that please give me the strength to serve you. So our connection is through our service. And prayer is not in the form of words. Service is the prayer. So prayer to beg for the strength to serve is expressed through our service. So our service itself is the prayer. Prayer is not simply some words or some formation, but through committed service, we are offering an intense prayer to Srila Prabhupada and all the previous acharyas.
And service will save us. Because if we are engaged in service, we don't have time to serve Maya.
Yes. Okay, so let's read further.
मैं ये बुक ले आऊंगी अगर टीवी पढ़ेंगे तो इधर एक्सपेक्ट होगी मतलब प्रभु से पूछ के मैं ये बुक ले आऊंगी.
Okay, let's read further. So we'll begin with chapter 16. Chapter 16 is a description of Jambudvip. Bhumandala's Jambudvip. Rajavacha Tasvaya Bhumandala Yamabhishesho Yabadadhyastapati Yatrachaso Jyotisam Gane Chandrama Vasahadrishyate. King Parikshit said to Sukadeva Goswami, O Brahma, you have already informed me that the radius of Bhumandala extends as far as the sun spreads its light and heat, and as far as the moon and all the stars can be seen. In this verse, it is stated that the planetary system, known as Bhumandala, extends to the limits of the sunshine. According to modern science, the sunshine reaches Earth from a distance of 93 million miles. If we calculate according to the modern information, "93 million miles can be considered the radius of Bhumandala. In the Gayatri Mantra we chant Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Bhur refers to Bhumandala. Tat Savitur Varenyam. The sunshine spreads throughout Bhumandala. Therefore the sun is worshipable. The stars, which are known as nakshatra, are not different suns as modern astronomers suppose. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the stars are similar to the moon. Nakshatranam aham shashi. Like the moon, the stars reflect the sunshine. Apart from our modern distinguished estimations of where the planetary systems are located, we can understand that the sky and its various planets were studied long, long before Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled. Sukadeva Goswami explained the location of the planets, and this indicates that the information was known long, long before Sukadeva Goswami related it to Parikshit Maharaj. The location of the various planetary systems was not unknown to the sages who flourished in the Vedic age. The important point about Bhumandala, which is being stressed out here, that Bhumandala extends to the limits of the sunshine. The Prabhupada is saying that at least 93 million miles the sunshine is traveling to reach to Earth. So at least that is a radius, if not less. I mean, if not more. No, sorry. If not more, at least there is a radius of Bhumandala. Because at least the sunshine is reaching up to the Earth. Or probably going beyond also. So at least 93 million miles is the radius of Bhumandala. The sunshine. Prabhupada is further making this point that the various stars of the nakshatras which we see are not modern day suns. I mean, are not suns, but they are actually like moon, nakshatra nama, shashi, which are simply reflecting the light of the sun. Hmm. This section also proves that above the sun, what the Bhagavatam is calling as moon, uh, which is also a light source, but a cold light source, uh, probably is different from what we refer to as moon, which simply reflects the sun's light. So, because here when it says nakshatra nam aham shashi, then moon is compared, moon is put in the category of stars. The stars and the moon all are reflecting the light. Prabhupada is saying all are reflecting that the stars are not suns, but they are all reflecting the light. That which is beyond our capacity to estimate and calculate can be understood by accepting the verdict of the or can be accepted by Shruti. So at least Shruti is better than speculation. At least Shruti is better than speculation. So because you see what happens is that many times topics like cosmology are beyond an individual capacity anyway. But what happens is that when we accept things on the authority of the Shastra, then we are able to catch the very essence of everything. But if one leaves things on speculation, then one is not catching the essence of the thing at all. So that is why speculation leads one nowhere. But obedience and acceptance of the authority of the inconceivable through the Shastras and the Parampara enables one to catch the essence. And the essence is what? Vedesya sarve ahameva vedya Vedanta Veda Eva Chaha. So one will be able to understand Krishna and one will be able to develop affection and affinity for the Supreme. Let's read further. तत्र विप्रियव्रत रथ चरण परिखाते सिन्धव उपक्त यत एतस्यः तद्वीपविशेषविकल्पास्त्वया भगवन् खलु. Suchita etat evakilam aham manato lakshanatas lakshanatascha sarvam vi jignasami. My dear Lord, the rolling wheels of Maharaj Priyavrat's chariot created 7 ditches in which the 7 oceans came into existence. Because of these 7 oceans, Bhumandala is divided into 7 islands. You have given a very general description of their measurements, characteristics, and names. Now I wish to know of them in detail. Kindly fulfill my desire. भगवतो गुणमये स्थूलरूप आवेशितं मनो हि अगुणेऽपि सूक्ष्मात्मा आत्मज्योतिषि परे ब्रह्मणि भगवति वासुदेवाख्ये क्षमम् अवेशितुं तद् ऊहैतद्गुरु अर्हसि अनुवर्णयितुम् इति. When the mind is fixed upon the Supreme Personality of God, in his external feature made of the material modes of nature, the gross universal form, it is brought to the platform of pure goodness. In that transcendental position, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva, who is his subtler form, who in his subtler form is a self-effulgent and beyond the modes of nature. O my Lord, please describe vividly how that form which covers the entire universe is perceived. But Maharaj Parikshit had already been advised by his spiritual master Sukadev Goswami to think of the universal form of the Lord. And therefore, following the advice of his spiritual master, continues to be part of that form. The universal form is certainly material. But because everything is an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, ultimately nothing is material. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit's mind was saturated with spiritual consciousness. Srila Rupa Goswami has stated, "Prapanchikataya buddhya parisambandhi vastunah mokshabhi parityago vairagyam falgu." Everything, even that which is material, is connected with the Supreme Personality of God. As everything should be engaged in the service of the Lord. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur translates this verse as follows. He's saying, Hari Sevaya Yatha Hai Anukul Vishaya Baliyata Tyage Hai Abul. One should not give up anything connected to the Supreme Personality of God. Thinking it material or enjoyable or the material senses. Even the senses, when purified, are spiritual. When Maharaj Parikshit was thinking of the universal form of the Lord, his mind was certainly situated on the transcendental plane. Therefore, although he might not have had any reason to be concerned with detailed information of the universe, he was thinking of it in relationship to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, such geographical knowledge was not material but transcendent. Elsewhere in Bhagavatam 1.5.20, Narmuni has said, Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaraha. The entire universe is also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although it appears different from him. Therefore, although Parikshit Maharaj has no need for geographical knowledge of this universe, that knowledge is also spiritual and transcendental because he was thinking of the entire universe as an expansion of the energy of the Lord. In our preaching work also, we deal with so much property and money, and so many books are bought and sold. But because these dealings all pertain to the Krishna consciousness movement, they should not be taken material. That one is absorbed in thoughts of such management does not mean that he is outside of Krishna consciousness. If one if one rigidly observes the regulative principle of chanting 16 rounds of the Mahamantra every day, his dealings with the material world for the sake of spreading the Krishna consciousness movement are not different from the spiritual cultivation of Krishna consciousness. A devotee, so here the thing explained very beautifully that a devotee establishes the personality of God. Is everything rather in relationship with the Supreme Personality. In relationship with the Supreme Personality. Such a person will never be bewildered. Such a person is not fluffing around the matter, the metal energy. So this is the point. And therefore, when a devotee is embarking in material energy, a devotee is careful. When the devotee establishes Krishna, then sees, okay, what the figment of material energy is coming his or her way, and then he uses it in Krishna's service and spiritualize it, ensuring that his focus is still Krishna. And then add a little more material energy. And then add a little more. So Krishna is giving the first place in one's life, and then everything else is very carefully added, so that the care should be taken that its addition should not waver or disturb our focus in Krishna service. Nothing should disturb our focus in Krishna in devotionals. So here it is being described that this description of the cosmos or the description of the Bhumandala is not geography, because uh, Parikshit Maharaj is seeing the whole universe as the form of the Lord, not different from the Lord, the energy of the Lord. So he's not seeing anything or relating with anything from a material perspective or material eyes. See, Prabhupada saying, in our preaching work also, we deal with so much property and money, and so many books are bought and sold. But because these dealings all pertain to the Krishna consciousness movement, they should never be considered material. वै महाराज भगवतो माया गुना विभूते काष्ठं मनस वच वदिगन्तुम् आलं विबुधायुषापि पुरुषस्तस्मात् प्रधान येनैव भूगोलोकविशेषां नामरूपमनलक्षणात् व्याख्या अस्य The great Rishi Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, there is no limit to the expansion of the Supreme Personalities of Godhead's external energy. The material world is a transformation of the three material qualities, Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, and Tamaguna. Yet no one can understand, no one could possibly explain it perfectly, even in a lifetime, as long as that of Brahma. No one in the material world is perfect, and an imperfect person cannot describe this material world accurately, even after continued speculation. O king, I shall nevertheless try to explain to you the principal regions, such as Bhuloka, with their names, forms, measurements, and various symptoms. The material world is only 1/4 of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's creation, but it is unlimited and impossible for anyone to know or describe. Even with the qualification of a life as long as that of Brahma, who had life for millions and millions of years. Modern scientists and astronomers try to explain the cosmic situation and the vastness of the space, and some of them believe that all the glistening stars are different suns. From Bhagavad Gita, however, we understand that these stars, nakshatras, are like the moon, in that they reflect sunshine. They are not independent luminaries. Bhuloka is explained to be that portion of outer space through which the heat and light of the sun extend. Therefore, it is natural to conclude that this universe extends in space as far as we can see and encompasses the glittering stars. Sukadeva Goswami admitted that to give full details of this expansive material universe would be impossible. Nevertheless, he wanted to give the king as much knowledge as he had received through the Parampara system. We should conclude that if one cannot comprehend the mental expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one certainly cannot estimate the expansiveness of the spiritual world. The Brahma Samhita confirms this. Advaitamachyatamanadimantarupam.
Adyam Purana Purusham Navayavanam cha.
Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam cha. The limits of the expansions of Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot be estimated by anyone, even a person as perfect as Brahma. Not to speak of tiny scientists whose senses and instruments are all imperfect and who cannot give us information of even this one universe. We should therefore be satisfied with the information available from the Vedic sources as spoken by authorities like Sukadeva Goswami. So let's stop here for today. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So next week we'll have our Bhagavatam study cycle on Wednesday evening. As exams will finish, so Wednesday evening. Very well.